Alright, so I was really impressed with Hydrafrost. He was one of these subs. So we're going to just go over his play a little bit, compare it to Chiefy over here, and we're just going to see how we did.
Justice will be done. Finally, I have beaten the champion at
So right off the bat, I do like the Reinhardt pick. I think he really only plays Reinhardt in this game because that's basically what I asked him to play. But I really like the pick in most situations. I think he was anticipating playing further forward when the rest of his team wanted to play farther back. Yeah, normally I hold way back in this choke point where he's going now. Just gives a little more room to regroup, but holding directly on the payload is also a viable strategy. Starting up top here though is kind of an odd choice, starting away from his off-tank. I like this rotation here. It's good. I think he's staying too far back. Like, hold on. You can see here, the payload is still moving. It would say contested right around here, if it's not. So when he's all the way back here, and Team 2 is taking a fight, that's not a line, as you can see, is taking the fight, he needs to be here so that you don't get a free point push. Because he has to be on it. I think that Cyclops definitely should have been playing Zarya here, just to allow Hydrafrost to stay more on the point. But otherwise, yeah, I think he should just be more on the point and ceding less ground, because they already lost one person, and as you're about to see, I believe, this backup is fine, but they lose a second person, the same place that I highlighted. So at this point, even with the revive that Chuckles is going to use, they're still going to be down players, and they just need to take this fight or back off, all the way off. And as you can see, they kind of do both, or like a halfway in between. So see how he's still not touching the point? They get the res off, but instantly he goes down, and at this point, it's just become free push for Team 2. That was the wrong button. So he dies here, Crusher dies again, Bob May uses an ult, and at this point they really need to choose. At this point they just need to make the call to back off, because here, as you can see, and here, Team 2 captures the first checkpoint, but he tries to move in to contest it, and Bob May is right here. I am going to be right over here in a second, and Hydrafrost here is going to do what's called staggering himself. So he's going to go in alone, he's going to die, and then he's going to respawn later than the latest respawn, which are these two guys right now. And how do I fix what I just did? Yeah, these two guys. So he's going to spawn later than them, and he's going to give both Bob May and me free ult charge. As you can see, he's going to die here. He gets a few good swings in, and he gets some ult charge himself, but he's kind of all alone, and he's not even touching the point to try to contest it. So he just dies alone and with no reason. And as you can see, he's respawning much later than everyone else. And without their main tank, Team 1 can't really contest the point, so, and that's an unfortunate pick for us. But as you can see, we are, even without taking a fight, we're already about halfway to our checkpoint. So he's back now. And unfortunately, he just loses the Rhine mind trick. He goes for the swing and allows a shadow to go through. There he just loses the Rhine mind games between two Reinhardts, in this case. In this case, it's going to be Chiefy and Hydrafrost. There's both Reinhardts, as you can see, have a big, large shield. That is an awful drawing. Let me try that again. Hydrafrost, Chiefy. Both Reinhardts have a big hammer and a nice, big shield for their team to stand behind. So, what the Rhine mind game is that these big old shields, they can block the earth shatters of the other team, which is what you just saw happen to Hydrafrost's team, where all of them were stunned on the ground and just basically resulted in a bunch of kills for Team 2. And so, the Rhine mind game is when to swing, when to put up your shield, when to use your abilities, and when to shatter. As you can see there, Hydrafrost just goes in, starts swinging, so Chiefy drops the shatter on him. That's an experience thing. Overall, I don't think it was a bad idea to swing there, but again, he just lost the mind game. So here is another one of those points where you have to make the call to back off. And the moment we capture this checkpoint, everyone here just needs to back off. Because there is no point to fight this, and that is a good rotation here. It's a very good rotation. How do I delete this? There we go. This is a little bit slow, but overall very good. It's a really good place to play. I would prefer him to play back here where he's playing about now. It just gives more space for his own team to work. It's really good. He's standing back, letting his shield recharge, unlike what I was saying Chiefy likes to do. And the moment they get a pick, he is really good and starts to move in. Kind of funny here. Bob May is just off on his own, and he finally gets taken down. Nice little BM here, which is another part of the mind games. So this team does not need to be playing on the payload, and I don't know who was calling this, but as you can see, again, there is an entrance. This is a bad place to pause. Yeah, there's an entrance there. Drawing still works. The entrance we came in, and there's also a third entrance over here. So if they're playing farther back around here, then it gives them more space to see where everything is and where we're coming in, and so that they're not dropped upon immediately. As you can see, his shield is already kind of low health. I believe Cyclops used both of his bubbles, his projected and personal bubbles, so there's no protection for Hydrafrost anymore. And they should just start backing up. You definitely don't want to fight here. An ultimate comes in from the back from Bob May. They get flanked, and at this point they need to... 3 down now, they need to back up. As you can see, Super Crusher's getting kills. He's on a flank, but that is just going to stagger him like I was saying earlier. So coming back out, this is definitely a fight that Team 1 should win. They have an ult here, an ult here. Shotorou's going to have her ult. Slayer Man's going to have his ult, and Super Crusher's going to have his ult. So down the barrier is the moment I would not have charged there. He gets bubbled and assumes that he should charge, but if we reverse this a few seconds, he comes back out here, and you can hear the enemy Reinhardt say, "Barrier destroyed." They're all standing there. He should have used his shatter there because there was nothing to stop him. By charging forward, he isolates himself from his team and gets killed. As you can see, without the enemy Reinhardt, if I may reverse this one more time, without an enemy Reinhardt, without an enemy shield, Chiefy, you can hear it right here, uses his shatter and puts 4 players on the ground. It's only a good sleep dart from Slayer Man that stops the follow-up. A good ult comes out from Cyclops, which stops the push from Team 2, and Team 1 is in a defensible position again. This playing around the cart is questionable in my mind, because you're giving us all of this space for free. We don't have to use anything to get past it. All we have to do is get through these 2, I guess 3, who can do damage from afar, but relying on Hayden and Rumble will be fine. We can just heal through it. If Hydrafrost and Cyclops are up here, or all the way up here, where instead of giving us free point, we have to fight through them. And even if we win that fight, they should respawn in time to contest this point before it hits the end of the map. See, that was an odd choice, but a good block with his shield. He just moves around here. I would have shattered there. I think he was looking for it, and that is a great shatter. He won the Ryan mind game there, because I watched this in third person. There is a wall behind him. Mei has an ability to put a big ice wall behind him, so he can't move backwards. And when he can't move backwards, Chiefy pushes into him, because it should be an easy kill. And once you notice that Chiefy's shield is down, he uses his shatter. It is a very good defensive ult. And yeah, it's really good play. Let's continue. So he's getting low. He should be backing up here, especially with 1 player down. He needs to be backing up, even off the cart. He has no shield here, so he just needs to keep backing up. It's good. Very good. Good bubble from Cyclops. Means that I don't think he's swinging enough to this, but there's nothing you can do about that. And Team 2 will cap it, but overall so far it's been really good. I think that he can afford to cede more grounds when he's playing on the payload and try to take more grounds when they're in defensible positions. Let me skip through the setup phase. So now, because Cyclops, of course, refuses to play D.Va, Hydrafrost is going to be playing D.Va. So let me skip through the setup phase again. So on the attack, they're playing this cheese comp with a Bastion who will set up on the payload in a turret form like that, and will try to do damage while Cyclops puts a shield in front of him, and these 2 keep him alive. So Cyclops should not be playing out in front of his shield here. Or no, not Cyclops, I'm sorry, Hydrafrost. And going in like this was unnecessary. Not an awful play as he lives, but it's unnecessary, as they were already up 2, and he had no one following him. If he perhaps had Chuckles following him, it would be a different story. Nevertheless, a good fight win for Team 1. And Hydrafrost, in his pilot form now, almost has his mech back. Can afford to be playing more aggressive than he is. Oh, no. That's good play right here. As soon as he gets his mech back. But the problem is, Slayer Man was playing a little aggressive, and he got picked off from the side. As you can see, they definitely don't anticipate a re-engage here. And Salt Shaker kills before they could do anything. He needs to just fully disengage here. He could have gotten out. He just ended up feeding a little bit of ult charge. That should have been a disengage. He should have just turned around and left. Now they're going to switch off of the cheese comp, as Super Crusher is going to go Pharah. The rest of the comp is good. I would say after using his ultimate, you can see he has it, Cyclops, should just switch. That is unfortunate from Shotaro. again, like, that dive, way too aggressive, because his team is not following him. He will make it out alive. He'll lose his mech, but he will make it out alive, which is really good for him, but he just needs to be spamming these guys like he is now. I think a big issue with this is just having Cyclops on the Orisites. As you can see, it's a stationary shield, which means that it's a start and stop playstyle. They really want, you really want a playstyle here where you can just run into them. They need to be switching to say, a Ryan Zarya, which they were playing on defense. At the time Hydrafrost gets his mech back, they're already down Slayer Man again. And at this point, they're just taking poke damage. They're not actually making any push. They're not really doing anything. It was a good response onto Bob May, and a good responsive bomb, but unfortunately does nothing, and he is separated from his team as the team fight begins. They are winning this, and it's a good strike onto Rumble, but unfortunately he gets frozen here, and what could have been a a team fight has now turned into a loss as I use my ultimate in kill 3. So now with only 20 seconds left, Cyclops needs to be switching off. He needs to be on Rhine. There's a high chance he doesn't even touch here on Orisa. So Hydrafrost went in a little aggressive. He gets frozen and demeched here, and then I wall him. So as you can see, there's no way that anyone touches, and that's the game. Overall, it was really good play from Hydrafrost. I'd say that Team 2 probably had a shot calling problem, where someone wasn't saying that Orisa was not a good pick. And you can see that on their defense too. But they're ceding more space than they have to. They're not playing corners, and they're playing too aggressive or too passive. But I'm really impressed with Hydrafrost. He hasn't played that much on computer. He was a PlayStation player before. And I hoped that he'll join us again for our next scrim. As, like I said, I was really impressed.